progress.
Hello and welcome to the Human Rights Commission of the City of Palm Springs, California, regular meeting. Today is Monday, February the 9th, 2026. It's 5 p.m. and I am calling this meeting to order. Staff liaison, do we have quorum?
The record reflect there is a quorum and Commissioner Strong is absent.
Commissioner Strong is absent, okay. I'm going to forego the welcome and comments from my position as chair because we have several items for discussion and we have to kind of try to keep this agenda moving as quickly as possible. So I'm going to move to item number 4, which is acceptance of the agenda. Do I have a motion to accept the agenda as it stands?
Yeah. Can I make a motion to move 9C, the Community Service Awards update?
So Commissioner Neves is motioning to move item 9C, which is Community Service Awards, upwards in the agenda, and item 9. We'll get to item 9. Do I have a second on that motion?
I second.
Commissioner Rimas, second. Any further discussion on the motion? So let's take a vote. Commissioners, to accept that motion, say aye, raise your hand. Let the record reflect. That has been accepted, thank you. So 9C now becomes 9A. All right. Item 5, presentations. We don't have any presentations submitted, correct?
Correct. Martha, you're on a discussion part of the calendar, so don't panic.
Discussion, okay, fantastic. So moving on to the agenda, it's the approval of minutes, which is item 6.
I move to approve those minutes.
Thank you. Commissioner Rinke moves to approve the minutes.
Second.
Commissioner Horn seconds. Any further discussion? Haven't heard none. We need a vote. Commissioners, to accept the minutes as they stand. Raise your hand, say aye.
Aye.
Let the record reflect everyone's vote. Excellent. We're moving on to item number 7, which is public comments. Do we have anyone submitting public comments today?
If Councilmember Gardner would like to address the
Commission. Councilmember Gardner, comment.
Just quickly, so I'm very excited that you're talking to Martha's today and getting an update. I think that's really important. It's an issue that we're working on very closely. One of the things that we're also doing is looking for more sustainable funding and funding from other sources as well. It's a $5 million a year project, and we want to make sure that we're engaging with the state, with the county, and other cities as we move forward in this. So that's just something I wanted to share with you all. The other thing is I know that there's questions about there's a vacancy on this commission. And I was informed by the Mayor Pro Tem from the Mayor, that the Mayor and the Mayor Pro Tem will be going through the regular process for filling vacancies. So all of the vacancies for any commission are going to be done in that annual process, is what they told me.
That's June, is that correct?
Yeah, so March 1st is when the applications will open, and then I believe everyone will be appointed by June. So that's what they're doing now. And ideally, that's how it's supposed to move forward in the future. If there is situations where you don't have a quorum, there's just too many vacancies, then they would adjust. But I think for now, there's only maybe one on here, one on another commission. So they're going to wait.
So I know we're not supposed to have kind of an engagement, but the question is, can you remind our commission what's the process for appointing a commissioner from a council perspective?
Mm-hmm. So for council, there's certain commissions, Planning Commission, Architectural Review, and Measure J that the entire council reviews, and I think HRC now. So the entire commission will look at those appointments, and then the other ones, it's the mayor and the mayor pro tem. And that way, we just always kind of have a rotation. You have one person who did it the last year, so they can add a little bit of context, and then a new person. So that's the process generally. We also started the process so that the applications open in March, and then close in April, decisions in May, and appointed by June, just so that everyone's clear. In the past, it was very much a free-for-all, and it caused a lot of confusion from the public side, a lot of confusion from council side. So far, I think this will be the second, maybe even third year that we've done it this way, and so far it's working out. So that's my update. I will be watching the rest from home. Did you have another follow-up?
Just very quickly.
That's fine.
Can commissioners suggest people they know that might want to apply and join the commission?
So if you know somebody that wants to join, you should have them fill out that application. That's going to be up on the website. It's going to be mass distributed once the application's open, and Jeremy can send it to you. But just encourage them to fill it out, and that's the best way. And then we usually do invite the chair of the commission to review the applications and give us feedback as well. So that's something else. And any of you who have recommendations, you can always email the council and say that you have a recommendation. That's fine as well. Thank you so much, and I look forward to seeing the rest. Bye.
Thank you so much, Councilman McGardner.
Chair, if you'd like to recognize
Yes.
Commissioner Strong as joined.
Commissioner Strong, hey. Hi,
Hello.
Malachi. Hi.
Hello.
Jump in as you may.
Okay.
Raise your
Good to
hand.
see everyone.
Who's going to be my spotter to see when Malachi is raising their hand?
I'll be watching.
Please.
I got on my good glasses today.
Welcome, Malachi. All right, so that was that. Reports, we have none, item 8. So let's move into discussion items. And we're going to start, because we agreed to move Community Service Awards update to 9A. So we'd like to get us started.
I think the ball lies in my court on this one. If you recall, at the last couple of meetings, there's been some robust conversations on community service awards. There's been separate committees that have brought together some questions. We've come up with the beginning of an application, and then it was really turned over to me. We met with the communications team, with the city attorney's office to figure out how we would proceed, the different vetting process, how would we get back to this body, how would we get to the council for the awards. That was pretty much taken care of at our last meeting. So now we're at this weird silence. And ball's in my court. What the process was to be was we would get it on the city's website, an application. We would announce it on Engage Palm Springs and also put out a press release. Along the same time, we're doing a redesign of the city's website, and it has slowed down how we're getting information pushed out. I have someone from the IT department that's helping me create a new type of form that will be on the website. My goal is to have it on the website next week. So really, it's pushed back our whole timeline about a month, because I was hoping to have it pushed in or pushed out last month, and it will be going out mid-February. So with that, the rest of the process stays the same. Applications will come in. I'll do the initial screen so we can remove some of the names of the individuals who are submitting the awards. We'll then call the ad hoc subcommittee together that will do the initial review and then submit the list of nominees to the full commission to determine who's going to be awarded. And then from that part, we'll make the appointment with the council to distribute the awards. So same process, nothing has changed there. It's just unfortunately pushed back about a month's time.
Okay. Questions,
And
comments?
I want to make sure, especially on the record, that I'm not blaming the communications team, I'm not blaming the IT team. I'm saying we've had a little bit of a change in how we're doing forms and the online administration of that, so that has slowed things down.
And so how does that change the timeline then? The applications will be available next week, you were saying in February?
My plan is that they'll be available next week. At the same time, we'll push out a press release, cross-advertise it on Engage Palm Springs. We have the applicant. And I'll make sure all of you get the application as well if you want to push out the link to people that you think can be nominators as well.
And then when does it close, the application process?
I don't have those notes in front of me. I think we decided 3 weeks. Does that
Okay.
sound about correct of how long we said
So-
the window would be open?
So let me think a little bit about backwards. We would push the application process in November. We would receive applications through the end of November, and early December, once the decision of the potential nominees to be awarded was decided, they will be contacted to ensure that they will accept the award and that they will be present, like physically present at the award ceremony that would happen in February. So that will give us December for communication, January for confirmation and us preparing all of the back-end things like the scripts, the PowerPoint, the dates, getting the plaques prepared. So yeah, that was a full 2-month process.
As I sort of map it out here, if we go live, for lack of a better term, next week, have it open for about 3 weeks, then convene the ad hoc subcommittee. I believe we could bring back to the full HRC at the April meeting to make the final selection, and then from there, it would be reaching out to the awardees and confirming their attendance and schedule it in front of the full council.
Yeah, because remember, the plaques needs to also be prepared, right?
Good point.
That's kind of important. And then, of course, the dates for us using potentially and hopefully council member chambers for the ceremony, as in the past. Talking to the honor guard to see if they can do the opening to the ceremony. Making sure that all council members will be in attendance, hopefully. That city staff will be in attendance, hopefully. That families of the awardees will know in advance when it becomes public so they can also join, right? And then every member of the public that wants to join and be part of the celebration.
I'm hearing June.
It sounds like,
Yeah. Has anybody else got that far along?
In my notes, I was at May.
You're at May?
As I was
mean,
mapping
would
it out.
It wouldn't be May, early May, it would have to be, I would think.
because our meeting is the second Monday of every month, so it's like the second Monday in May.
Which is,
Not June.
Better than June.
it would be better than June, but that, I mean, could we squeeze it into the second week in May, into our meeting in May?
I would think so. If we're going to make the final approvals at the meeting in April, that gives us a month to get plaques and scheduling. And I can start scheduling rooms and locations now for the second meeting in the meeting in May, which would be the second Monday.
Remember, we always had that 2-month dance, right? It was a 2-month dance, so that we could do from like the release in November to December and then January, so that the event would take place in February. If we are going to push this to
Is there any?
February, that's March, that's April, that's May.
Do we have to?
We don't have to, we don't have to stay on the date of our meeting though, right? We could pick any day, so we could move it to a Thursday, we could move it to a Friday in case people are coming in from out of town.
It was always the day of our meeting.
But it doesn't
Yeah, but
have
it
to
doesn't
be.
have to be.
That's what we're saying.
I don't know.
And it would give us
That's
a
a
little
good
bit more
question.
room.
We could certainly call a special meeting. It doesn't have to be on that day.
If we can call a special meeting, then that's the way to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
In
we're
May.
awfully tight at the early May. We did like middle May or late May.
Do you want-
Most
I'm
folks
not
leave
trying to
in
keep
May.
pushing it, but do we want to get it live next week? And then we'll revisit at either the March or April meeting to decide what we're going to do at the May meeting to pick that date?
Oh, we should decide it in March.
Just put it on the agenda for next month to pick the May
Yeah,
month or May
solidify that
date.
timeline.
Okay. Is that good with the group?
That might also help us if we go live next week. We'll see what kind of participation we're getting.
Commissioner Strong, what do you think? What are your thoughts?
I think just making sure that we do it before everybody kind of leaves and it starts getting like hot because people usually get out of town.
Yeah, because we completely agree with you. It's like, oh, we decided on this individual or this organization, but they're left town because it's too hot.
Yeah.
And no one shows up. So that's
I
big.
think the special meeting makes more sense instead of trying to cram it. That way, we have a lot more time and people don't feel rushed to make sure we have everything together.
And we could schedule a special meeting to review as a commission, you know, those ones that you elect to be suitable for an award.
I guess at the March, when we're talking dates at the March meeting, we could say, let's push the April meeting out one more week. And that's when you do the full review of all the applications, depending on how many applications have been received or the amount of time it's going to take the subcommittee. So that's a great point.
As a reminder to all commissioners, you're obviously able to nominate individuals or organizations that you consider may be worthy of the Community Service Award. What is not going to be accepted is any kind of bias. If you serve on an organization's board and you think that board needs, that organization needs to be awarded, that's obviously bias, right? So that's a big no-no. But if you know of an individual, if you know an organization that you've sort of been looking at from the outside and you're not involved and there's no perception of a conflict of interest in any way, shape, or form, you're welcome to nominate them. So that would be your nominations. And it's also as a reminder, council members cannot nominate anyone.
On the form that's being put together, that is on there.
No more council member nominations.
If we're able to do a special meeting, right? So it's like we're not stuck to the date that we have scheduled for Human Rights Commission. We still feel there's no way of like late April. I guess it feels like a longer process than maybe it needs to be, right?
Okay. And this is why we always started in November and we awarded people in February.
Uh-huh.
This is the reason why, because it does take a long time. It's not immediate. And everyone in the commission needs to get involved. It's not like, hey, we're going to call a special meeting and only 3 of us are available on that special meeting date. Or some of us are already gone, or we have work commitments, or so we can't make it. It's like, ideally, every commissioner needs to get involved in something that has the Human Rights Commission name on a plaque, that we're awarding something for special service or service that really needs to be recognized. So that it's not like you just sit it there and it's like, oh, the whole commission nominated this person or that organization, but I don't agree with it. If that's the case, you need to speak up. You have the ability to speak up because you are part of this commission. And so it really requires full commitment and participation. There's no other way about it.
Oh yeah, no, I agree with that. I'm talking about the timeline.
Timeline, now it's really challenging, Jeremy. I want to hear everyone else's thoughts.
Don't you think the timeline's going to be really dependent on what the participation looks like?
Yeah.
I mean, if we get like 100 apps, then we're,
Yeah.
On average,
But if we got-
we were getting around 8 to 10 nominations on average.
I wasn't with the board at that point, so I'm
Yeah,
gonna
but now
look at the
you're-
audience. I'm
Jay.
gonna dial a friend out
We
here.
have 9 or 10
We have a little bit of memory here in the room.
It varied year to year, was my recollection. Sometimes it was slow getting interested nominations in there, but then it always seemed to come through that there were at least a few for each of the categories.
Yeah.
My personal opinion is I think we should have the whole affair done by the first 2 weeks of May. Because once we get past the first 2 weeks of May, people are headed out of town. We've got the holiday at the end of the month. So I think it needs to be done by the first 2 weeks of May.
So I'm going to throw a caveat there. We are the only commission that awards. No other commission provides any kind of awards. None. And so the question to the commission is, do we need to do it this year, or do we hold it for next year? Or do we decide not to do it altogether?
You know, I think, under consideration, in order to be thoughtful and to be able to solicit as many applications as we can, maybe for going into next year and staying on that November schedule would be a reasonable approach, as opposed to trying to squeeze this in a very limited time frame. I don't know what the other folks think, but I support that.
All right, people, engage.
I think I do too. I think I do too. And maybe leave the nomination process open for a longer period of time. You know, to really get a broader participation from the rest of the community. You know, the tighter we squeeze the nominating time, the more difficult it is to really get people that deserve this. You know, maybe keep it open during the summer or something on the website.
Yeah, to celebrate this.
Yeah,
For
to
its
make it more
due celebration, yeah, we would need time, people would need to be here. That makes a lot of sense.
Jeremy has
I
some.
think I agree.
I'm gonna say, if we're going to give ourselves extra time, I'm no web developer, but I think we can get someone from IT to come to a meeting or two to mock up a website that maybe looks a little bit better than just a simple form online that kind of fill in the blank, that maybe we could do something a little bit jazzier than just a simple online form.
I think that would be cool, because that also would elevate the importance of the whole thing. And you know, I've said that many times over that, you know, if we give it to everybody, it becomes less important. You know, it needs to focus and it needs to have some importance. So I think that would.
Perhaps it could be advertised,
Yeah,
not
that would
advertised
help,
now,
I
but
think.
we could start building it up with putting out press releases. Hey, start thinking about who your nominees are going to be. The nomination period will be X to Y. Just throwing ideas out there.
Market it.
Yeah, maybe, you know, open it between August and October. You know,
Right.
to-
There could be a longer period.
yeah.
Commissioner Strong.
Have a website.
I like the idea of waiting and sort of marketing it a little bit. That way you get more people involved and it becomes a bigger thing versus trying to rush it just to fit a time frame. I think it'll have bigger impact because we are the only commission that does it, to make it, take the time and make it bigger. And if we take the time and sort of advertise people being able to nominate people and kind of use that to kind of bridge in the community and work on the connections that we're always talking about as well.
Right.
Other commissioners' thoughts?
Great idea.
Other commissioners' thoughts?
We actually gave out awards last year, correct?
No.
No,
So it's been a year since we've given out, or 2 years.
Didn't
2
we do it
years?
last?
no, not
Wasn't
last
that when we
year.
had all the problems? Oh, no, we were shut down last year. That's right, because of the screw up at the end.
Because of the brouhaha.
Yes, that was.
Yeah, I probably look at it a different way because I do events for a living. I think it could be done in the timeline, but I feel like no one's comfortable with that, so I'm fine if everyone feels that it can't be done. But I think we have a really generous timeline to get something like that done. But I know that it's been done in a certain order before in a certain time frame. So if we have to wait, so what is the new? So when would they be? It'd be start in maybe open up early, but you were saying we start in November.
No, actually, sooner than that. Because once the commission together decides that the process is right, and we have the means to communicate to the public dates and processes, there will be then a communication where there's a period of submission of applications, so that the applications can be reviewed and vetted, and everyone participates. And it's not like, hey, I didn't have a chance to get involved, right? And then we maybe just go back to the November through, and then the February time when they used to take place. Because in February, you were part of one of those ceremonies, and the room was entirely packed, and pretty much everyone made it. It wasn't like, oh, awardee X or awardee Z didn't quite make it because they were out of town.
Would it be helpful if I put together a formal written document that we could bring to the next meeting that identifies all the dates, all the milestones, but that really identifies or lays out, this is what we're committing to, here's the responsible parties, and formalize some dates that we don't misstep?
I think that would be great. And I think this longer opportunity, we could brand the Human Rights Commission in the community. You know, there's like hundreds of nonprofits throughout the Coachella Valley that we could be, outreaching and talking up the work we do.
Remember that the awardees are not just individuals for their outstanding service to the community. They're also organizations like the one we're going to hear from today.
Right.
So it's individuals for their work, outstanding work in the community.
You're on me and watching TikTok. Take a chair. Here for too long. Eat you, you'll get hemorrhoids. Do what you have to do. Lift it up.
Thank you, PS Service Desk. So they're individuals, but they're also organizations, right? That's kind of where things go, and those are the two big categories. Now, Jeremy, just a quick thought. So maybe, as we're putting this document together, maybe we do a little bit of A/B testing in the language and the lingo of marketing. Like, what would it look like if we push to do this year? What are the key dates? What's happening? Can we achieve these things in a way that maybe May is the month when we do this ceremony? And then test B is, what would it look like if we push it one more year? Maybe, I'm just thinking out loud.
I think what Hugo's saying is to present two timelines, right, Hugo?
Okay, I'm questioning, if I do that, if I don't bring back a timeline until next month, we've wasted up, not wasted,
Yeah,
but we've
yeah,
utilized
you're
a
right.
month in, how do we deliver by
You're right.
May?
Yeah, we can't do
I
it.
hear you.
And Don's point was really a good one. You know, at the end of the month is the big holiday, so people are going to be making travel plans, capturing the
Yeah,
award
yeah.
ceremony in early May.
So instead of that, I'm going to take it back to the commission, and I want to have this conversation with the commission. What would two potential timelines look like?
For this year or for the end of this year?
I really starting to, I'm going for the B, going for pushing it out. For the main reason is that if we went live with this next week, we would be dependent on people that have heard about this in the past and that have, it has been out of circulation for a year because of all that stuff. And, I'm not sure how top of mind it is for people that there is actually an award that's given. And I love the idea, Color, what you said is that, and what you said, Jeremy, about getting a website and you're maybe doing some promotion for the commission and really make it a bigger deal than we can do it if we go live next week. But I don't think we can meet an April or May timeline at all, Scott, unless we go right away. And I think it would be to our detriment. So I'll go just for one timeline and make it, and push it out to next year.
If we did actually still hold it for this year and have it by sometime in May, as far as getting it out to the public, we've got Nextdoor as a possible category to put it on. We've got the Palm Springs Post. I think we can get it out there if we decide to go ahead and do it. I think there's a lot of venues we can use to get it out there quickly. And through word of mouth, I think it would spread very quickly.
Just keep in mind, Vice Chair, that nothing can be shared with the public until it's officially shared by the city's media department.
Okay.
And the language and everything that goes out is the language that we all use, including in our own personal social media accounts. Like, hey, I'm Commissioner Rimas, and I just want to let everyone know that officially, the City of Palm Springs Human Rights Commission is launching this initiative to reach out to the community, and we're seeking nominees for an award. Before that, and until that language is explicitly published by the city, we're in no place, shape, or form able to say anything or reach out to anyone or nothing like that. That has to be entirely centralized, organized, and communicated by the city's communications department. We don't have the power to say boo without it.
They have to announce it first, then it can go public.
Then you got like, oh, the city's department just put out this nice PDF talking about community service awards. Did you know anyone that would you like to nominate? I'm reaching out to my social media audience, my friends, my family. I would like for you to consider nominating someone you think is worthy of receiving a community service award.
And where is the award ceremony usually held?
City Council chambers.
City Council chambers.
Commissioner Strong, what are your thoughts?
I think I'm still on the team of waiting. I think it makes more sense instead of trying to get it out next weekend. We also don't know like how many people. And so I think if we have more time and can give people a longer opportunity, even running it, I think someone said running it, the nominations through the summer. Because maybe people are doing other community service type things in the summer, whether that's getting food to people or whatever it is. So I think that makes most sense from my perspective.
Great. Other commissioners' thoughts?
What I'm hearing from everybody is some of the camp wants to do it this year, which I would support if we all agree on that. I also understand where Malachi was coming from, that maybe we should wait until the fall and do it on a slower, more, what do I want to say, more professional way, giving people more time to think about it. I just think, I want to reiterate again, if we're going to do it, we've got to do something by the beginning of May.
You know, I would say, given what Jeremy was saying about putting up a glitzy website, we've complained about the Palm Springs City website and how difficult it is to wade through, much less to form an application. Having that website be open and engaging, I think would be very helpful to increase our response. So that's where I would be coming from. Otherwise, we're working amongst ourselves.
To get it done.
Yeah.
So are you for having it this year or
Oh,
possibly?
no, for definitely waiting is what I would support.
So I think we are going to move to, I'm going to ask for a motion in a second, but I think the options are clear. Rush it or wait. Is that what I'm hearing?
Correctly, if the commission's in agreement, I'll bring back a document next month, lay out a timeline that we all can agree to for a future event.
Yes, that's what I think it was we're hearing, and that's what we'll probably vote on.
Okay.
Right? So let's make sure that everyone uses the same language. So I think we're going to ask for a motion to have a longer process and allow the many pieces of the puzzle to come together so that we can certainly engage our community and everyone in a way that makes total sense, and the nominations come strong, and that we have the opportunity to vet them correctly and nothing feels rushed. I would support that as the chair of this commission. I know.
This is a discussion update
But-
item, so I don't need a formal motion. I understand what we're asking for, and I can deliver that next month.
Okay, all right.
Jeremy, a fun date to keep in mind as you're creating this new schedule is November 4th is National Day of Community Service.
Oh.
Good to know, thank you.
So it could be fun to either end the process on that day or
announce it.
something.
Yeah, promote it.
Yeah,
That's great, thank you.
that's like a tie-in.
I didn't know that.
I didn't either. Google is magical.
Commissioner Nevins, oh my
I
gosh,
like to Google things.
love it. All right, great. So maybe we should move to the next agenda item, yes?
I think so. I told Martha's Village they were first on the agenda, so I think
Okay.
they're sitting over here.
So we're gonna move to item 9B, which is our friends from Martha's Village and Kitchen. And we have together with us, please join us on the table. We have Mickey Jordan, who is the Chief Executive Officer. We have SB Ortiz, Chief Programs Coordinator. And we have Rosa Verdugo Ruiz, who is the Chief Operating Officer. Welcome, ladies.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
One second, trying to get this started.
The floor is yours.
Good evening, Commissioners. My name is SB Ortiz, and I'm with Martha's Village and Kitchen. I'm the Chief Program Officer. And today, we're just going to give you guys a quick overview, a high-level overview of Palm Springs facilities and the programs. So you guys can see, we are providing essentially a continuum of care, and it's in 3 phases. That's what we designed when we came together with the City of Palm Springs to really have a program that delivers stability with participants that are in crisis, with the first phase being Access Center, the second phase being Early Entry, and the third phase Navigation Center, which is what and it's designed to flow together to provide a more flexible and coordinated service for participants. Our goal is essentially to make sure that we give the right level of support at the right time. So Access Center acts as the front door for services. Early Entry is where stability begins. And Navigation Center is more of the outcome-oriented phase. And these are the 3 facilities. Bless you.
Thank you.
Yeah, may I just ask this quick question? The very first time they approach you all for help has to be at the Access Center here by the courthouse?
Yes, but we were already established at the Well in the Desert, providing wraparound services.
They just
And-
can't go up to the Navigation Center themselves and ask to be admitted.
Right, so we'll go over that, and at the end, if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask.
Great, thank you.
So Access Center is a daytime drop-in center that provides basic needs and wraparound services. It's located on El Cielo Road 225, and operating hours are Monday through Sunday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Some of the services provided at Navigation are hygiene, restrooms, a safe place to sit, and access to case management. Essentially, here's where we build trust with our participants, and we begin assessing needs and the next steps. Here at Access Center, the population we serve is the Palm Springs community, as well as individuals experiencing homelessness and housed individuals at risk of homelessness. It's a walk-in service, and it's low barrier. We accept referrals from community partners and outreach teams. The service approach essentially is prevention, diversion, and homeless services. We're trauma-informed care and motivational interviewing that supports participants at their own pace. Phase 2, early entry. Again, this is where stabilization happens. This is not a walk-in shelter. All access to early entry starts at Access Center. And just to clarify, it is located on 3589 McCarthy Road. It's building number 2. Hours of operation are Monday through Sunday from 3:30 p.m. to 9 a.m. This shelter provides 50 beds plus 5 designated police beds. We serve single individuals, families, and households. At all intake, waitlist, and roll call activities occur at Access Center. Waitlist opens at 8 a.m., roll call at 3 p.m., and transportation occurs late afternoon. This structure helps manage capacity and ensure fairness. And it's a first come, first served basis. Participants stay overnight, receive dinner and breakfast, and exit the following morning. Transportation is provided back to Access Center. This phase allows case management to deepen. We have multiple check-ins and touches to understand where somebody is in their journey. The focus is to determine readiness for the next phase. Phase 3, Navigation Center. This is the final phase in the continuum of care model that we have. It's housing focused, and it's essentially designed to support in resolving the barriers that keep homeless people in this cycle. This program is exclusively open for participants enrolled in CES, that's Riverside County's coordinated entry system. In order to enroll into CES, they must complete a VA SPDAT assessment, and it is through a homeless service provider or also at Access Center. In addition to being enrolled in CES, they must be at or below 15% AMI. Navigation Center has 80 units total, 65 designated for single individuals, 15 for transitional aged youth, and 5 for families. We are pet friendly, which is us removing a major barrier for a lot of the participants that we serve. So how do they access a unit? Essentially, through coordinated entry. Once a unit becomes available, the participants are selected. And priority is given first to individuals at early entry. Once we don't find anybody at early entry, the second would be the Palm Springs homeless individual, then throughout Coachella Valley, and finally through Riverside County. This keeps focus on serving local community while supporting the broader region. This is a transitional housing program with intensive case management services, which focus on engagement and addressing main barriers to housing stability, which may be mental health, substance abuse, income, or simply lack of housing options.
May I ask a quick question?
Yes.
The access and prioritization, number 4, Riverside County residents, does that mean after they've gone through the 1, 2, and 3, could they bring people in from anywhere in the county?
Yes, and to be completely honest, we haven't gotten to even the Coachella Valley residents. We are staying within early entry in Palm Springs.
Okay, thank you.
Because again, we're always going to have participants at early entry that qualify. And the participants are reevaluated every 6 months and may stay up to 2 years based on need and progress. Thank you so much. Any questions?
These both a large room for sleeping in and also private apartments, is that?
So these are units. Some units are ADA units, some units have kitchenettes, and some units are simply a room and a restroom, but all units have a sleeping area and a restroom.
And you have family accommodations for, say, a family of 4 or 5 people?
So our rooms have a limited capacity of up to 4 due to the measurements and the size of the living area. The family units do have capacity for up to 5.
And is Martha's Village, I know you're very, very involved in this now, are you doing strictly food, or is the Riverside County coming in and doing the paperwork? Are you doing the paperwork also, or is that the county doing the paperwork?
For, what do you mean? Can you clarify the food part?
Well, here at the Navigation Center, I would assume the residents are provided you with the dinner and the breakfast, and that's provided by Martha's Village?
Yes. So here at Navigation Center, we have a full kitchen that provides meals to both Navigation Center participants and early entry. So early entry, like I mentioned, it's an overnight shelter. When they check in at 3:30 at Access Center, they're transported to early entry. After that, they receive dinner. And after dinner, they're able to hang out and do some activities that we have set in place, or bring a third-party agency to provide resources. Then they go to sleep. In the morning, they're provided with breakfast and then shuttled back to Access Center. Now, at Navigation, where the transitional units are, we provide breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
This is near my neighborhood, and I'm in District 1 where this is located, so it's of a large concern for me. I've been watching it from the days when you were talking about it before it transitioned into this.
You know, I think previously we've heard some presentations about the Access Center. In order to be able to access the Navigation Center and the overnight shelter, that they have to have, you know, identification clarified or a mailing address?
No, all they really need to have in order to enter Navigation, which is a transitional unit, is be enrolled in CES and be in one of those priority lists that we mentioned. But for Access Center to be into early entry, they just have to be there at 3 p.m., be on our wait list. But if they stayed the night before and they arrive at check-in, they automatically get the bed they have been assigned the previous night.
How many of the people that come to the Access Center, which you see along El Cielo, you're not just down the street, is there a wait list for folks that show up? What's the capacity for the people that show up and are able to have beds? You have to turn people away, is I guess what I'm asking.
So we haven't been turning a big number of individuals away. For the most part, it's the same individuals seeking the same service at early entry that return. We do have cots, so nobody's turned away if there is a need. But capacity is 50 beds, and 5 additional beds are designated for the police department. If they are at night and encounter an individual where they need shelter, they're allowed to take them to early entry.
Do you have a breakdown of the ethnicities that you serve to get an idea, a ballpark figure?
I don't have a ballpark or I don't have some demographic information, but I can get something for Jeremy. Yeah, and I can definitely share that. And is that for early entry?
It's interesting to just see, you know, and a question about kids and medical attention if they need it. Do you have a sort of a connection to a clinic or?
We do have a partnership with Desert Healthcare District. They bring in their mobile clinic, both to our Indio facility, Access Center, and to Navigation Center.
Okay. Your residents that are at the Navigation Center, do you help them transition into regular housing?
So yes, there's where we focus on housing and housing resources.
I just have a quick question. You said that you've never gotten beyond Palm Springs residents. And I was wondering, how do you determine who's a Palm Springs resident since none of these people have housing?
Well, they usually have some sort of documentation that tracks them, so within the county, there's a database called HMIS, Homeless Information System. Mm-hmm. In this database, we're able to track where they have been receiving homeless services. And for the most part, a lot of them come from our Access Center, and we've been tracking them for the many years we've been here at Access.
So most of the people that are frequent flyers, okay.
So I know that some unhoused people do have employment, right? And so they have to go to work. So I'm confused by the schedule of like a 3 p.m. roll call Like if they have to go to work, wouldn't that stop them from going to work?
No, so we usually, they can meet with their case manager, and all we require is for them to communicate with us what their working schedule is. We do have some individuals that show up in the middle of the night due to employment reasons or even doctor appointments.
Okay. And that's, so just so I understand, I remember the wait lists and roll call were for the access center, but then when you get to navigation, that's after that process.
When they go to early entry, so the
Early entry.
roll call and check-in are at Access Center. Then they're transported to early entry for the overnight shelter. And they leave the following morning around 8:30. We start shuttling back to Access Center.
But the navigation center's only been open for what, 3 years?
Navigation for 1 year.
1 year.
November is 1 full year.
Okay, so you don't have time yet to know if
Right.
you're able to get them from navigation into their own housing or their own jobs or all yet? You don't have any information on that?
We do have a few individuals, I want to say right now we're at 20 or 22 that have been placed in housing.
Okay, that's admirable.
Sorry, I'm sorry, go ahead. You sure? I just had a quick question about the pets. I'm on the board of the Palm Springs Animal Shelter, so I like
Okay.
to know these things. So when you say pet friendly, is it, so the person who comes in with their pet, the unhoused person, stays with their pet? And are people ever doubled up with pets, like 2 dogs or 2 put together in the same room?
So at early entry, we also allow pets, this is the overnight shelter, right? Individuals are allowed to bring in their pets. They stay in a crate, in a kennel, due to any sort of sensitivity or allergic reaction or any sort of that stuff. But at early navigation center where they have their own unit, individuals are allowed 1 pet. Initially, when we started, we were allowing multiple pets, but a lot of our participants, one, we're not getting them vaccinated. We're having issues with connecting them to get vaccines, and also they did not have the income to provide for them. Although we do provide, we also want to make sure that we're teaching them independence. And that was one of the biggest things we talked with Jay, and we now limit to 1 pet per unit.
What is the Riverside, the CES process? How do they get registered? What is that? Just explain it to me more.
So the coordinated entry system is it's basically an assessment. It's an assessment that participants, unhoused homeless individuals complete with a homeless provider. It could be Access Center, it could be any other entity that is within Riverside County Continuum of Care, and a homeless service provider. This requirement comes from one of the contracts that the city has, where it requires participants to be funneled through that coordinated system. And it's essentially it's usually used to identify the needs and the higher needs of each individual, but for our purpose, it's essentially used to just ensure that participants are tracked and are brought in a fair manner. But we worked with the county to make sure that we set our priority list, which is, again, early entry first, then Palm Springs, then the Coachella Valley, and finally Riverside County.
So if I'm at the well or something, then anybody that comes in, I register them and it goes into a pot that then you all review when they come to the access center?
Yeah, if the well has access to CES, as a provider, they're able to enter participants and they would be part of that list.
Okay, and then like the county health?
County
clinic
health,
and
yes.
That type of provider? Okay, yeah.
We do not review as an agency. That's the county's responsibility
Okay.
and then they funnel based on the priority that SB
Okay, so the
mentioned.
county determines whether or not they're eligible for
And then they
further
funnel back
services.
to us.
And what would kick them out of that system?
Nothing kicks them out. They're there forever as long as they're still homeless and active in Riverside County.
May I make go ahead, you go ahead.
Yeah, I have a question for you. So the assessment that occurs, the coordinated entry assessment at the Access Center, what if you determine somebody has an addiction problem, or if they have a mental health problem? How are they prioritized, or how does the care manager work with them?
So usually CES is designed to provide housing vouchers and housing opportunities for individuals depending on their needs. Having a high substance abuse or high mental health disorder puts them all the way at the top. But again, for our purpose, it is used simply as a way to funnel in participants. The priority list is what we discussed, which is early entry. Whether you have a substance abuse issue, mental disorder, as long as you meet one of the requirements, that's the way you'll be funneled in.
May I make a suggestion? You had mentioned that the homeless people that have animals, and some of them aren't taken care of as far as shots and medical things, possibly an outreach program between you and the Palm Springs Animal Shelter.
We've reached out. I think we're just pending some confirmation for them to come out. They've been, from what we hear, having a few issues with staffing. But yes, we've connected with them.
You have a good ear in here tonight.
Come on.
Great.
Commissioner Strong, please, unmute yourself.
Yes.
Questions, comments?
Oh, I thought it was a very informative. I've heard of it like Martha's, but I think I didn't really understand the process. So I really appreciate just you kind of breaking it down. And I was wondering if you had like if I know someone that might benefit from services, how would you suggest like them getting started?
So again, as I explained, the pathway to enrolling services, the entry point is Access Center.
Okay.
Sending them to Access Center. From there, they'll meet with the case manager. Then they will begin their journey through our services. Obviously depending on availability, but if you guys know of an individual that needs services, the beginning point would be Access Center.
Okay. Thank you, Commissioner Strong.
Do you have a system of security cameras?
Yes.
Okay.
At all facilities.
The United Methodist Church in Palm Springs, as you know, serves lunch on Saturdays.
Right.
And I've participated in helping that quite often. Do you ever have a representative there to possibly see if anybody needs assistance that's there?
So we currently do not have an outreach team, but when funding does allow for it, we have in the past sent staff out there. We used to transport 2 meals. So again, it's just dependent on funding and if we're able to staff it.
Well in the Desert offers lunch to the various churches in the area, and you are connected with Well in the Desert?
So yes, we've worked at some capacity. At the moment, our participants are fed at Navigation Center. But yes, we're familiar with the Well in the Desert. Yes.
And there are for example, like at Guadalupe, they have like showers, they have the nurses from San Bernardino, California State. So it would be nice if those services and those individuals seeking them could be somehow, connected to the Access Center. I mean, it's another connection point.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you. Any other questions?
Yes, I do. So, Councilmember Gardner is making a plea for us to consider supporting the initiative to invest $5 million in this project, if we understood this correctly. And it sounds like everything begins with Access Center and the early entry application. Thankfully, I'm not homeless, but I would like for you, Etsy, to walk me through if I was homeless and I would come to you. And if you could please walk us through the steps of what that looks like. What are the questions? What are the forms for the public, for us? I would really much appreciate that. We have access to the internet, right, in case we need to look at things and dive deeper?
Yes.
I like the deeper dive.
Yeah.
This is a major investment, and I like people to really, truly understand what it is to be in these dire situations and what it is required for you to consider that.
Definitely. So if you were out homeless today, and you were informed of Access Center, you would come to the Access Center. Again, we're open 8 to 5 p.m., Monday through Sunday, so 7 days of the week, all year round. When you come in, you'll meet with a security officer. We'll do a brief intake for the Access Center, just your basic demographics, name, date of birth, and then we would go ahead and ask you to meet with the case manager. Again, we're low barrier, so everything is in an encouraging basis. We would like for you to meet with the case manager to initiate via SPDAT assessment and any other needs that you may need. If you're suffering from mental health, substance abuse, or if you're simply interested in housing options or employment, depending what your need is. Say that your need is housing, we would get you on our wait list for the early entry, complete a VA SPDAT, in case you are then transitioned into navigation. If a bed opens up that night, you would then come at 3 p.m., get your bed, get shuttled to early entry, have a dinner, interact, having some engaging activities with all the participants and our staff. In the morning, you will have breakfast, then shuttled back to Access Center. At Access Center, you will then continue case management and any mainstream benefit that you qualify for. After that, you would continue coming to early entry until a unit opens up. Once a unit opens up, we will dig in through the CES queue and find your name. You will then be selected to enter into Navigation Center, meet with the case manager, do an intake and assessment, and then begin your housing options and possibly re-engage you in employment services if you haven't already done that at Access Center.
Okay.
From there, you would be evaluated every 6 months based on your progress and your engagement in the program, and hopefully find you some housing and income.
At the Access Center, what is the caseload of your case managers?
So we currently have 5 case managers. The caseloads are not really assigned because participants there come and go. So it just depends on the need of the participants and how many sign up every day. Again, let's say Mr. Hugo comes, right, and he's not really interested in housing. He's simply interested in finding employment. It's up to him when he comes and checks in. Again, we're low barrier. We don't design or set up a schedule. We're trying to work with participants and what works best for them at their own pace.
Can you quickly elaborate in what low barrier means versus
High barrier.
a more difficult, challenging barrier?
So right now, under a lot of the funding coming from HUD, they've established a low barrier housing first definition, which essentially is saying is you can have substance abuse issues. You do not have to engage in services instantly or be expected to. And we are still going to be there offering you the service when you're ready for it.
How many people are we talking about? Which capacity?
Where?
In your system for the access to the navigation? How many bodies are actually involved in the
Staffing,
No,
participants?
participants.
So at Access Center, a year count, it's almost 1,000 participants that we see unduplicated.
Okay.
Then at Navigation, we just started, right? Right now, unduplicated, I believe we have around 80 individuals. And at early entry, it's 50. But participants come and go. So I don't know off the top of my head the unduplicated count. But I can tell you that within all 3 facilities, we probably serve well around 2,000 participants.
Annually?
Annually, yes.
Is that consistent with the count, Carla?
Yeah, I mean, I can't make an opinion. I don't know.
Oh, I thought you were involved in the count. You're not doing that
Just to
anymore.
clarify the count and how you look at the count number, it's not the number, and I think that it's the perception that the community has. The point in time count, this is what it tells you. It will tell you that you have 300 homeless individuals out there. That is not the real number.
Right.
What it's supposed to do is design to where every year on this, you do a systematic count. So you just go based on that. Okay, so last year we counted 200, and now we have 250. There was an increase. It doesn't mean that's how many individuals are in the street. It's just that the count was conducted the same exact way to see if there's an increase or a decrease. And I think that that's a misperception that the entire county and the community we all have is like, well, and I know the police department is one of them. They're like, the count only says 350, but we have like 800 in our unduplicated list that they keep. Yeah, because they have those one-on-one engagements, and they're go in all the areas in the city of Palm Springs. So just keep that in mind whenever you're looking at the count. Just take it for the increase, decrease type of formative type of component.
Do you have a computerized database that you follow these people with?
Yes.
Yes.
Are there any future plans to move the access center to the navigation property so that they can basically stay there instead of having to be transported back and forth and have everything in one facility so that they can be there for the day rather than having to find out what they need to do at the access center here?
I can see, that being a good idea. It's definitely not up to us. This is a question for the city. And this is really due to funding and how they are designed to operate.
Well, in addition to the city, and it's not so much the city either, right? You mentioned you're in that district. The biggest pushback that we got during that time was actually the district community members, that they didn't want the access center component to is the daytime center. Your daytime center folks are in and outs, right? Some individuals are not ready for the housing bed. All they want is a shower, right? And that's how it starts. That's how we start building these connections with these individuals. They're based on touches. So they might come just for a shower and then they leave, they go on with their day. The community in that area, it was a huge, I know I was part of those meetings, there was a huge pushback that the only way it was gonna be approved for us to be there or any type of services, not marches, but any type of service, is if they were not seen and shuttled to it. What do we think as an agency? I think any service provider that provides homeless services, we believe that that model is a more efficient model.
To have the access center at the navigation center.
Yeah, it has the capacity, it has the space, it has this, the services are there, the feeding. For example, lunchtime for the access center individuals, they have to access the Well in the Desert meals, right? We have a full kitchen there. And is it better? Yes, it is better, but I mean, we're glad you're here because now you're part of that community that could probably be an advocate. And I think that is just understanding the services and how they're being delivered, that it just caused a lot of concern. They were not familiar with homeless services in the Palm Springs area. I mean, the other one, it was off of the freeway. What was it called? Royce. So yeah, it's just a matter of educated individuals and then understanding how the service are being delivered by.
I will say, when the navigation center was first proposed, I went to all of the meetings, and I wasn't really in favor of it in our area. However, now that it's established and it's working, I'm not personally aware of problems in our community from the center.
Right.
And if that continues that way, I can see that neighborhood giving more support to you. I think you're proving yourselves, and I think that's been very important so far, because we were actually, the neighborhoods all around there were frightened.
Right.
Yes.
And now it's like we forget you're there. So that's a good thing.
Definitely a good thing. Just to say, in Indio, everything is on the same site. And it is so much easier for the participants.
Thank you for explaining that.
In Indio?
In Indio, everything is there. All the meals, everything. And people can just come up to our.
So that's a good model to look
But
at.
it's not in a residential area, really.
No,
It is.
It's more, well, there's residential down, I'm just saying it is in
Oh, yeah, I know
Indio.
it
I
is in Indio.
understand that.
And there is space at the navigation center for the access center to be there, is that correct?
Is it a three-tier system in Indio?
It actually is a little different because we don't have the overnight.
So in Indio, the city of Indio is very unique when it comes to homeless services because it's not just markets delivering services. So this three-phase component that SB mentioned, when we were looking at a model, we took Indio's approach but now it's being run by one entity in one city. In Indio, you have Coachella Valley Rescue Mission that does the overnight. Therefore, Martha's doesn't have to do the overnight, right? Once they're done with the overnight, which is the early entry here, and they're ready for the longer term type of thing, ready to stabilize housing, then they go over to Martha's as an emergency shelter 90-day program, right? So once that happens, our success rate in Indio, it's in that, well, right now I think it's like at 70% last year placement, meaning 70% of the individuals get placed into housing, and about 89% actually keep their housing throughout their during their term. Those are really good numbers. You can't look at the Indio model and expect the same here in Palm Springs. It's two different
Populations.
It's not only programs, but populations. You have chronically homeless individuals here in the city of Palm Springs. So when we came in and we looked at what the city and the population, we had to take all that into account. That's why you have a longer term program. Many folks want to, well, why a 2-year? Can it be shorter and you serve more people? It takes longer to stabilize a chronically individual than it is somebody that just became homeless 6 months ago.
Because they lost a job or the paycheck and they can no longer afford their rent.
Or domestic
So,
violence.
and
Domestic violence.
substance abuse becomes a big one. Mental health becomes a big one.
Yeah.
And that's the individuals that we're currently serving here, so it takes longer to stabilize.
Commissioner Strong?
I was just listening. I know from my internship, there were a lot of clients that would say like the back and forth was really confusing. So I think it would be nice to have everything in one space.
May I quickly ask, I know we're on time, but may I quickly ask how the three of you ladies got involved in Martha's?
Martha's.
So again, my name's SB Ortiz and I am the Chief Program Officer. I started with Martha's around 9 years ago, a residential specialist, and I moved my way up, became a case manager, sorry. Then I did data quality, housing manager, assistant director, and VP, sorry. And recently just got promoted to the operating officer.
Congratulations.
That's very good. Very well done.
I need some water.
Yeah. Nikki Jordan. So I just became the CEO, was it December 1st, December 9th, the beginning of December. I moved out to the desert May 28th and had been a CEO in Los Angeles of human service organizations for 31 years. Ones that actually were, I had grown to very large statewide organizations, social services. Came out here, never intended to work again. Except I am a consultant and executive coach and could do it on my free time, CEOs and boards across the country. Thing came in from Martha's and I talked to them and I thought I could help. And the mission really spoke to me and I've done things like this my entire life. So I came to Martha's and I'm really thrilled. I do have experience with the desert as a child. I always thought I'd move back to Palm Springs, and I didn't move back to Palm Springs, but lived over in the Las Palmas Estates as a child and loved it here, went to school here. First jobs out of college were running services across the valley for hospitality workers, primarily the housekeepers and such, their kids, high-risk kids, ran a runaway shelter here in the desert. Came here my entire life, you know, weekends, months, and always wanted to come here and live. And, but it was the mission, it was helping out. And my family had started the Fred Jordan Mission in downtown LA on Skid Row in the 40s. And I sort of feel like I've come full circle.
Thank you for getting involved.
Yes.
Well, hi, everybody. So this is my second tenured here at Martha's. My first one was 20 years ago. I worked as it was a residential specialist just in the housing program. I left to further my education, and I always said I remember going to work, but you just never felt like I was there. I wasn't serving a purpose. And I remember the last time I felt that I was doing something good was when I worked at Martha's as a residential specialist. So then I applied for Martha's. I've been with them for 12 years this time around. I mean, Mickey is a perfect example. It's just so easy to fall in love with Martha's. It's a well-respected organization in the community, but the respect comes from years of delivering meaningful services. Anytime we take any program, and SB and her team are the ones that make sure that they do get delivered with the quality of Martha's. We don't just pick up a contract because it has $1 in front of it. It doesn't. One thing that I'll tell you guys, oh, by the way, I'm leaving Martha's. Unfortunately, in April, I'm relocating to Las Vegas, so that hurts. But what I could say about Martha's is that quality services cost money. Delivering quality service costs money. Can you get another entity to provide some of the services that Martha's does for a cheaper price? Sure. Is it going to be the same quality of care and services? It's not. Our outcomes are a reflection of it. County-wise, they use us as an example of, files and auditing to have a 70% success rate as an emergency shelter is huge. The average nationwide is under 20%. But as an entity is at 7%, and it's been like that since, our percentage actually dropped. We were at 80 to 85% success rate over over 30 some years. But again, it speaks to the type of agency that it is and how much pride we take in our services that we deliver. So we were very fortunate to, get in contact with the city of Palm Springs and try to work with all the, different like the housing, residential folks. I did many of those presentations where we had to answer those questions and stuff. So we're very fortunate. Thank you for having us here.
If I just may, real quickly, in the 1970s, 80s, and 90s, my sister ran the Betty Rip home or shelter for homeless women on Skid Row, and I volunteered there a lot. So I understand what's going on, and my heart is in there, and I'm trying to work with what our community foresaw you at and what you actually are, and I think the community needs to know more. Like I said, we forget you're there, and I think the community needs to realize that that's such a good thing, and I think we need to go from there and build on that. So thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you for having us.
Commissioner Strong, anything else?
No, I don't have any other questions.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
But with that said, we would like to thank you so much for being here tonight, and we appreciate the candid conversation that we had with you, and thank you for explaining Martha's services in such detail for the public, and also to inform and educate us about what you do. And I think Vice Chair hit on something really important. So we sort of know that you're there, but we don't know what you do. And so, the more that you can help the community be educated about your services and how you help our homeless community, the better we'll be off altogether. So thank you so much, ladies.
Great. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone.
Good luck in Las Vegas.
Thank you.
Don't gamble.
Oh, no gambling for me.
Very good. All right, we're going to move to the next discussion item, which is future agenda items. And here we go. February is here, but March is almost immediate.
So, I have a question. What about the Boys and Girls Club? Have we ever had a presentation from them?
No, we haven't.
That would be a really good idea. Yeah.
Also, the Mizell Center, which is not really associated with the Boys and Girls Club, it's separate.
I'd love to hear about senior services, yes, more.
So those are my two suggestions offhand.
Two totally separate presentations.
Yeah.
Absolutely, it's a very distinct organization.
My husband volunteers at Mizell, and I'm part of the Writers Guild, and we go to Mizell for our presentations monthly. I'm familiar with it. It's a great place. It is. But the Boys and Girls Club, there was some controversy about the leadership there a couple of years ago. I think it would be interesting to further investigate.
They have changed CEOs the last few years.
Okay, okay.
And senior administration has moved around.
Oh, okay.
So it'll be interesting to hear what's
Yeah,
happening.
both of them, yeah.
They also have a food program, don't they?
Margaret, come over there.
They have Meals on Wheels from there.
Because
Meals on
Micel
Wheels.
received,
That's Mizell.
Micel
That's
received a
Mizell.
good
Mizell
chunk
has
of money from
Sorry,
Measure
that's
J for the
Mizell.
kitchen
The Meals on
renovation.
Wheels are
Is
my.
Mizell.
They do
Mizell,
serve
yeah.
Meals on Wheels. They
Meals on
serve
Wheels is a big program.
lunch.
That's
And-
Mizell, that has nothing
and
to do with
on-site
the Boys and
lunches.
Girls Club. So just
Yeah.
keep those separate. They're two
Separate.
absolutely
yeah.
distinct organizations, funded differently, different management. They just happen to share a corridor, that's all.
right.
They're next door to each other.
Those are
I'll
great.
reach out to Margaret at Boys and Girls Club and
Yeah.
And there's
ask
an
for some
executive
presentation.
director for Mizell. I forgot his name. Hector is the contact
Yeah.
person. Hector.
Yeah. That sounds great. Who is now our lead, if I may ask, on organized communities? Palm Springs 1, PS 1.
I go,
You are?
yeah.
And what's happening? What's happening there?
It's the Tuesday, it's like tomorrow night. What's going on? Yeah, just, updates. The city council, Jeff Bernstein gives up a presentation. Andy Mills are one of the police representatives. Yeah, so it's kind of an update. I can't really tell you exactly. I can try to do a report when I go tomorrow.
Because next meeting is March, and then fairly soon after that, we have the picnic, right?
Oh, right.
The one at the park.
The one at the park,
Ruth Hardy
which
Park.
is fantastic. It's a great opportunity for all of us to get
And
involved.
Denise Goolsby is the one who runs it,
Yep.
and she runs 1PS. Very easy to get in touch with.
So that's easy peasy.
We manned the booth last year.
We did, and Commissioner
We
Rivas was
won in the
there,
booth.
and Commissioner Horn was there, and you were there
I
too.
was too, yeah.
And it was so much fun. We should definitely do that.
I'm sorry, when is that this year, so I can put it on my calendar?
Around April?
I don't know the date, but Denise's office is across from mine, so I can get the date and send it out to the group.
Send us
tomorrow
a quick
morning.
update on that. Commissioner Horn, may I ask if there are
March
any-
21st.
Thank you, Councilmember Gardner.
That answers that question.
March 21st.
Thank you.
So it's like around the corner.
I believe the date's March 21st.
Okay.
Quick question. Are there any updates from our outreach group with the police department and LGBT community?
It's very, there's nothing that stands out. It's good. It just,
But nothing major to report?
nothing major to report
Good.
that I can think of, no.
Um,
I hope I'm right. I don't know.
I guess from my request on future items, it continues to be municipal code. And we talked at length about community services. Councilmember Gardner gave us an update on the vacancy. I think those were kind of top of my head. Jeremy, you have anything?
On item 11 here, Muni Code, but actually I was going to bring it up. This committee has done all its work on the municipal code. I've drafted the ordinance and staff report. It is all with the city attorney's office. Once that review is complete, it will be finally placed on the council agenda for the introduction of the ordinance. I was hoping for the second meeting in February. That is not going to happen. So I'm hoping for the first meeting in March for that to be agendized for that first official reading of the ordinance. But all of the committee's work is done. You guys have spent a lot of time bringing multiple revisions forward. We've settled on some great language, addressed the domestic partnership issue, and recognized some of the progressive activities of the city is within the ordinance, so that is coming very soon. And I'll make sure that once it is finally agendized, I'll send out an email to the group, just letting you know
Okay.
of the actual date
So
and time.
whatever comes back, commissioners, from my vantage point, and what I would love for you is to be able to engage with whatever comes back from council, because it is the work of this body, right? And I'd love for each and every one of you to have an opportunity to say, hey, how about, or question, or before, it's final reading and approval. I want you all to feel very proud of the work that we've done revising municipal codes. Doesn't happen every day. In fact, last time this happened was 25 years ago.
It's been a while.
1998.
And we're living in very different times, so, please engage with this sort of things. It's not, don't take it lightly. It's quite important. I think we're done with discussion items, if anyone else has anything on it.
I just have, a question. The human rights violations that are occurring by some of the ICE agents and the Border Patrol, I guess that's something that, we really remain silent on. Is that right? Because it's very political. I mean, it happens right here in our community, Home Depot raids, but I feel muzzled.
How do we engage with something like this, Jeremy? What would be the best possible way in which this commission can engage, knowing that ICE is like a federal agency or a branch of a federal agency?
Yeah.
That we are working on behalf of the city of Palm Springs. Can someone in the city instruct us, educate us about how we as commissioners can respond to this, and what do we say to the public, and how do the public can protect themselves from?
I think that's happening everywhere, and everybody's fearful. I don't know if the council would really want to consider anything.
I know there's some kind of language, like absolutely like legal language. If you are confronted with ICE, these are the things that you must do and whatever. But I would love it if we can have a nice conversation or maybe a presentation from some city officials.
I don't know the answer, but what I can do is ask around and figure out who the appropriate person would be to address it with the commission. And I'm seeing nods around the room for a future agenda item.
Right.
Yes?
Yeah, maybe our attorney, city attorney could.
Yeah.
I don't know who that will be, but let me ask.
Yeah, and also for public, right? So it's like if you're a member of the public, and I can translate in Spanish if I must translate in Spanish, that's perfectly fine, I can do that. To tell the public how to deal if they're being confronted with ICE as a city of Palm Springs. What are your recourses, right? I would love that very much.
All right.
Yeah?
Right now, everybody's walking on eggshells when the word ICE comes up. Because everybody's afraid to say something, and we all know people that are affected by that, and we're all afraid to say anything. So it would be nice to know what directions and what instructions we should go when we're asked about that.
You understand?
Completely agree. Any other comments and requests from commissioners? We're good?
Yep.
Staff liaison comments?
It was just on the municipal code, and I.
So shall we adjourn, folks?
Yes.
You ready to adjourn?
Yes.
All right.
You look so much better this meeting. You look like day and night. Last meeting,
Wait, I need to formally adjourn.
I've had
For
a
the
rough
public.
month.
Good night, Malachi.
Could tell.
Good night, Malachi. The commission will adjourn to a regularly scheduled meeting scheduled on Monday, March 9th, 2026. Thank you, everyone. Have a good night. Stay safe.
thank you.
Blessings.
My daughter is due to deliver.
And that was a compliment.